So before we start today, this is very, very important. My favorite Taurus is having a birthday tomorrow. So join me in the comments or on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is you're seeing this to wish one of my Soaprentices, Georgia May, a very, very happy birthday. And before we get into talking about the bar that we're making today, hi, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, and you are here for 365 days of soap. And today we are doing the Taurus bar, which is perfect timing because we are in, the Taurus season, but also, as I said, one of my favorite people on the whole entire planet is having her birthday tomorrow. And she's a Taurus. So, happy birthday. And yeah, the Taurus bar, this is one of 12 in the Zodiac line, and it's next up on the list, and so we're doing the things. And Taurus is an earth sign, and earth signs typically like a whole lot of structure. So this bar is very structured. It is a 2-day pour, but not nearly as complicated as some of the other ones that we've done. Actually kind of changed the way I do this bar for this particular batch. So you let me know which one you prefer. I will show you examples of both, but for now, let's go and watch the thing. Okay, so we have day 28, the Taurus bar. Now, Taurus, you see this this bar here? This is an example of the original Taurus, and the half circles on each side, they don't really line up right, and it's been kind of a challenge to get them to line up right. And I had sort of an idea with doing that this time, and instead of using like a full circle and then trying to cut it perfectly down the middle, I decided to sort of mock this up and only pour into the half circles and create like a straighter half circle, really. And so we're gonna use those for the half circles on either side of the bar. Now, the reason that we use the half circles and we want to get them, really dialed in and kind of perfectly, straight, as well as have, one on each side, is because Taurus is an earth sign. And earth signs, characteristically, they really like structure, and they appreciate less, chaotic sort of circumstances. And so we did want to model the earth signs after that. And so they all have some good structure within each of the bars, within, those half circles that are sort of evenly spaced, and that is kind of the goal. Now, cool things about Taurus, they're also drawn to, greens. It's a spring sign, so they're definitely drawn to the bright signs of life colors. And they also tend to like, kind of floral type scents. And my Taurus, my favorite Taurus, loves this rose and violet blend that we use in a couple of our bath bombs. And we decided to use this for the soap as a result because, it's her bar, so she loves it, and we're gonna do the thing. Now, with the actual mix of the soap batter here, this particular soap batch is a 50-50 split. So 50% hard oils, 50% liquid oils. And with this guy, we have coconut oil, palm oil, olive oil, and grapeseed oil, because, green, and that's cool. And we are going to mix this to a nice medium or thin trace and get this ready for a pour, because it needs to be reasonably thick for what we're doing next. Okay, now, so for the pour of this bar, we are going to be laying down about a third of the batter into the mold, and then putting the first circle, half circle, on top of that batter. And then we will lay down more of the batter and cover that first circle, and then put the second in, and then put the rest of the soap batter in. And that's going to, in theory, provide, you know, good structure between the two. Oh yeah, and you do want to make sure that your soap batter, you know, underneath is thick enough to support the circle that you're going to be putting in it. Otherwise, it's just going to sink straight to the bottom, and then you're not getting the sort of structure and like the symmetry that you're kind of hoping for with all this. So it is well set up. It's a nice, you know, consistency there. So we're going to put in the first circle and then pour over the top of it, and then put in the second circle, and then the rest of the batter goes, you know, on top. Now, the reason that we're doing the more structured pour with this is because earth signs, you know, collectively, they're very sort of practical and very structured. And Taurus specifically, their biggest sort of like negative trait is that they can be very chaotic and sort of pretty big procrastinators if they don't have that structure and that order in their lives. And so they really do look for that kind of more than any other sign. They are the most grounded of the zodiac and kind of like the anchor, but not if everything's out of balance. If they don't have the structure, then everything goes to pot. And so, you know, definitely for a bar like this, for the Taurus, we want to make sure that they have good structure within all of it. And also with the colors and everything, the typical Taurus is actually very, very artistic and really drawn to the beautiful things in life, which kind of makes sense, right? Because they're ruled by the planet Venus, and you know, Venus, the goddess Venus, is, you know, she's known for beauty and artistry and love and all that jazz. And so it makes sense that they're drawn to really beautiful, bright, you know, vibrancy. And so that's, you know, another reason for the really luxurious, you know, scent of the rose and the violet together, because it's just it's such a lover's smell, really. And the bright greens, which, you know, symbolize, you know, rebirth or birth and spring and growth and all of those awesome things. So yeah, we put probably more effort into really studying the zodiac than maybe we should have for this, but it was fun because I'm into the zodiac, and this was really cool to do the whole astrology thing. Now that everything has gone into the mold here, you can see it actually looks really great. There's nothing wrong with this soap batter. Everything's set up really well. It's not overly thick. We don't see any ricing. We don't see any problems going on with any of it. The kaolin is well blended into all of this because I actually mixed the kaolin clay with water this time, as opposed to putting it into the scent blend, just, you know, for funsies, to mix things up. As a result, the bar will actually take a little bit longer to cure than normal because there's a little bit more water in it than usual. But that's okay, because all of my soaps, you know, cure up for a full 4 weeks before we do anything with them anyway. And at this point, I'm just going to put a little bit of texture at the top because it's a thick enough batter to do so. And I very rarely have a soap that has a thick enough, you know, texture to do a cool top. So I'm going to do the thing. And this is going to cure overnight. We are going to C-pop it for no other reason than I C-pop all my soaps, and we'll check it tomorrow. Okay, so it's day 2. It's actually day 3 because, you know, day 1 was creating the embeds, day 2 is creating the soap, and day 3 was cutting. And you see, this bar is quite a bit taller than the other one, and that's actually an issue of the formula that I used. I used a larger batch size than was really necessary for all of this. But as far as the placement of the two like half circles, they look good. They really do. I think that upper light green circle is a little bit too light. And I think both of the circles are a little bit too small, especially when looking at, you know, the rest of the bar. And there's definitely too much white to the two circles. So this is something that, you know, we can chop down. We can cut them down. They're very large bars at this point, so they're, you know, easily 7 ounces, and it's much bigger than what we normally sell. We usually sell around a 5-ounce bar, so much taller than you would expect normally. But the bigger bar is going to leave a really good field to sort of put the symbol there, the symbol of the bull there. And so we can kind of pick where we want it to go, which is kind of fun. And that's beautiful. I love that. It's so pretty. I think still this bar is probably a little bit too tall, and the circles, while they went in easier and they didn't sort of flop around within the soap batter because the white soap batter was a good consistency for pouring, I don't know, I think they're too small. I really do. And so for the next round, we will play with a larger half circle, or we may scrap this entire earth sign design entirely. I'm not sure. I haven't really decided yet. I guess I'll figure that out when I do the next earth sign, and that will be, you know, here in a couple months, and we'll figure it out at that point. For all intents and purposes, this is a beautiful bar. It smells delightful. It's a well-formed bar. The lather is amazing. Good big bubbly lather, and it looks great. It's something that I'm happy to put on my shelves, but it's not. It still does not have the essence that I'm going for with this particular Zodiac sign. It's close, but it's not quite there. Now, with these, again, we have the 4 or the 3 rather earth signs. So all 3 of the earth bars have this pattern with the 2 half circles on either side, and then the half circles are different colors, and obviously the scent is a different color depending on what the other 2 signs are drawn to. And it's, again, it's okay. This was the original design for the bar, and I'm thinking we might want to, you know, reconsider this and go back to the drawing board for the earth signs. But, you know, you let me know what you think about it in the comments, if we should, especially if you're an earth sign. That would be awesome, because your input is of course going to be appreciated. And, you know, let me know what you think of it. Does the structure work for you, or would you like to see, you know, something else for your bar? And yeah, that's it. That's Taurus. That's day 28. It was actually 3 day 4 when it's all said and done. But it looks great. It's beautiful. It's an excellent bar of soap, and they're super duper heavy right now, so that's cool. I found it was easier to get the circles, the half circles on each side of the bar this time, but ultimately the colors weren't right for either one of them. The scent was great though. The Rose and Violet is always a slam dunk, and that's one of my Soaprentice's most favorite scents, so it definitely went in her bar. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to continue playing with the earth designs, and we might see a swap soon. But for now, there's the Taurus bar. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for another day of 365 days of soap. If you are interested in this Taurus bar, you can actually pick it up at soapandplay.com. We have the entire Zodiac line there, as well as cool rollers that are meant to amplify each sign's positive traits and sort of diminish their negative. So definitely check those out. If you're interested in following me on social media, thank you. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And, you know, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.